Hello, my name is Fynn, and today I'll be showing you how to create your own custom mission for Classified France 44. We'll be making a simple assassination type mission, covering a variety of topics including basic mission setup, placing enemies, creating objectives and setting up interactions, among other things. Once we have made the mission, we'll go over how to upload it so others can play what you have made. For the purposes of this tutorial, the mission will be uploaded to the Steam Workshop, but a very similar method is used to upload missions to mod.io if desired. The mission creator can be reached from the main menu. Once open, you will be presented with this menu. Pressing Create Mission will allow you to set up a new mission. We're going to give it a name, and we're going to have the mission set on the map Canal Bridge. We'll keep the time of day set to fog/mist. Time of day affects the vision distance of units, and on certain maps will change what cover is present by default. With that done, we can hit Create to launch the editor. On the left side here, you can see some of the basic settings for the mission. We've already given the mission a name, but it still needs a briefing. The enemy quality override setting determines what level the enemies are when they spawn. Since I want this mission to feature fairly easy to defeat enemies, we will just set that to 1. We'll be placing our own units around this part of the map, so the camera start position can be set to 0, so that it is facing in the general direction we want the player to be moving when the mission starts. The stealth kill limit determines how many enemies need to be killed in order to trigger an ambush. Let's set that to 3. With that done, let's get some enemies into the mission. We want these enemies to appear when the mission starts, so we will leave the spawn condition as is. Let's create a new squad for these enemies to be a part of. Enemies that are in the same squad will coordinate with each other better in combat. Generally, squads featuring 3 to 6 soldiers work best. We'll be placing enemies from the Fallschirmjäger character pack, as we will be giving the player a fairly low-level squad and want to give them a good challenge. Let's place some privates and 1 medic by left-clicking onto the map. The stealth sequence won't be all that interesting if they are all facing the same way, so let's change their starting rotation. A unit sub-panel can be opened by right-clicking on them. We will also make this unit patrol along a simple path. We don't want him to move more than 6 cells in a turn when patrolling, so let's set his max AP to 6 here. We are keeping each section of the patrol path relatively short, as long sections of patrol can look a little odd and are harder for the player to predict the outcome of when planning their own turn. Now, these enemies aren't of much use if they have no one to fight, so let's add some player units to the map. For this mission, the player will have Anna Martineau, Willard Cassidy and Vincent Tremblay in their squad. We can move them around and adjust their rotation just like the enemies. If we want these allied units to work in the mission, we must add them to the player team with the Teams tool. Since the player will be fighting Fallschirmjäger, we will make the team level 3 to provide a good challenge. We could manually add the characters we have placed to the team, but we're just going to press the Add Allies from Scenario button instead, and it will be done for us. Alright, now that we have some player units set up to fight these enemies, we should create an objective for the mission. Just press Create here in the Objectives tool. What's written in the ID field will determine how the objective is referenced inside the mission creator and scripting. the mission briefing field changes how the objective appears to the player in mission. In here, we will write "kill the medic," as he will be our assassination target. We can leave all the other objective settings set to their defaults. Now that we have an objective, we need to create a way for the player to complete it. To do this, we will create a script that triggers when the medic is killed. Let's name it medic killed. Inside the script, we will call the function mark scripted objective succeeded. It can be found under the objectives category. The objective ID has defaulted to referencing our objective, so this script is ready to go. Now, we find the medic, right-click on him, and find the drop-down list for Script on Knockout. Select the script medic killed, and now that script will trigger when the medic dies, completing the primary objective. To make it clear to the player which unit has to be killed, we should add an overlay to the medic that relates to the objective. To do this, let's give the medic a scripting reference of target. Then, let's add some logic to the inbuilt script on mission load. This will trigger automatically when the mission loads. We'll add the function add overlay to character. You will see that the reference target already populates the first parameter. The second parameter is also set to our primary objective, so we can leave both as is. By default, the icon used for the overlay will be based on the objective it is linked to, so the custom icon reference parameter can be left blank. Primary objectives are automatically given a primary objective icon, and secondary objectives the secondary objective icon. So, we have a primary objective set up. Let's add some extra interest to this mission with a secondary objective. This secondary objective will involve the player interacting with a field radio, giving false commands to divert incoming enemy reinforcements. We create our secondary objective in the same way we created our primary objective. Let's give it the briefing, divert enemy reinforcements. Let's make this a secondary objective by pressing this button. The rest of the settings can be left as they are. So, in order for the player to divert reinforcements, let's add the radio they need to interact with. We can add a field radio to the mission by going to the Add to Map tool, selecting the placeable type Interactives, finding the field radio and then left-clicking to place it on the map. Before placing it, I have rotated the radio by 180 degrees so it fits the environment better. We also need reinforcements, so let's place those on the map with the Enemies tool. Let's set the spawn condition to reinforcements and create a new squad. These reinforcements will be from the Wehrmacht character pack. Let's place a few units down here. With the field radio and reinforcements placed, we can focus on the logic needed to get this objective working. The plan is that reinforcements will begin counting down their arrival when the mission begins. The player can succeed in the secondary objective and stop reinforcements by interacting with the radio. If they don't do the interaction in time, the objective will be failed. Let's put some logic into the inbuilt script on mission start. This will automatically trigger when the mission begins. The logic will cause the reinforcements to be triggered and begin counting down. The scripting function for this is spawn delayed reinforcements. We will set the countdown to be 6 turns and the squad ID to be the same as the ID we used for the units just placed. Since we want the countdown indicator to be visible, we will set the parameter hidden to false. We want the secondary objective to fail if the reinforcements arrive. One way of doing this is adding the function trigger delayed script execution to the script. This will trigger a different script once a timer has finished counting down. The script will be called timer finished. Let's set the turn delay to the same as the reinforcements, in this case 6. In order for the player to easily see how much time they have remaining, let's include an on-screen timer. The label string ID determines what text will appear next to the timer in mission. Let's write reinforcements arrive. We will leave the include timer parameter set to true. Let's create that timer finish script. We'll use the mark scripted objective failed function to fail the secondary objective when the script is triggered. Next up is logic for interacting with the field radio. Let's create a new script called radio interaction. When the player interacts with the radio, we want the reinforcements to be cancelled and for the delayed script trigger to be stopped. We'll do this by using the function cancel delayed reinforcements and cancel delayed script execution. In the former, we want to make sure the correct reinforcement squad ID is referenced. In the latter, we will write the name of the script timer finished. This will also remove the on-screen timer. We will also set the secondary objective to be succeeded. With all the scripts created, the last thing we need to do is attach the radio interaction script to the field radio. Right-click on the radio to open its subpanel. From there, we'll go to the attached scripts and select the script to be triggered when the player interacts with the radio. As with the primary objective, we will want an overlay to help players find what they need to interact with to complete this secondary objective. We'll go back into the on-mission load built-in script and use the function set secondary objective overlays visible, making sure its visible parameter is set to true. Next, we want to use the function add overlay to design object. The object we want to add an overlay to is a field radio, so we'll make sure that is the reference name. We also need to give the coordinates of the field radio, so that if there is more than one in the mission, the game knows which radio we are talking about. You can find the coordinates of an object by right-clicking on it and looking at the top of its subpanel, here. Back in the script, we will add the coordinates and have the objective ID parameter point to our secondary objective. As with the primary objective overlay, the custom icon reference parameter can be left blank. The mission is almost done, but there is one thing left to do: create a way for the mission to end. For this mission, we will be having an extraction point that appears when the primary objective is completed. To add one, go to the Add to Map tool, select the Extractions Placeable type, and left-click to place an extraction. To change the position of an extraction, you need to delete and place it again. To have the extraction appear when the primary objective is completed, we'll go into the medic killed script and use the function reveal extraction points. We want to reveal one extraction point, so let's put 1 into the first parameter. With that done, the mission should be ready to test and upload. Let's save our work so far by pressing this save button, then press the play button to test the mission. You'll need to successfully complete the mission in order to upload it. Once the mission is completed, you'll be taken to the Mission Creator menu to upload your mission to the Steam Workshop. Select your mission and press the Publish to Steam button. Let's give the upload a title and description. Note that this is the title and description for the Steam Workshop, which is separate from the name and briefing of the mission in-game. Tags are used to help other players find mission types they are interested in. We'll give our upload the Assault tag. All of the validation checks should now have a green tick, which means the mission can be uploaded by pushing the Publish button. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing what missions you create yourself.